Okay, guys, just wanted to make a little bit of an introduction video here to the YouTube channel. I put up a few videos. Some people have been watching those. I hope they're interesting to people. I hope people are getting something out of them. As I've said many times on those videos, I'm doing it for me. I wanted a way to kind of review my workouts, see what I could do better to try and push myself a little bit more. If I see something technique wise, look at that and maybe straighten that up. See something strategy wise in those workouts, learn from that and kind of get a little better at what I'm trying to do for my fitness right now, which is CrossFit. So anyways, like I said, it's for me, but I'm putting it out there for people to watch also. You know, like I said, it's for me. I knew I just know myself. I'm never going to journal. I'm never going to, sit down and take the time to write something. But for some reason, this seems a little bit easier just to kind of talk through stuff and watch the video. And it's kind of the age that we live in. It's the technology age. So while I'm doing this, I'm gonna have a couple of old videos up here. So this is from 2023, the CrossFit Open. This was the second Open that I did. So the first one was in 2022. I hadn't done any exercise in preparation for it. I found out about it and I'm like, oh, I'm going to try this. And I wrote my brothers and Dan into it and we did the workouts and, had a good time laughing at ourselves with that. But so this is 2023. So this is the first and second workout. 23.1, the first workout, is what you're seeing on the left hand side of the screen. And that workout was a 14-minute AMRAP, so you could go through this as many times as you could get through it. And it was 60 calories on the rower. It was supposed to be 50 toes to bar, and I couldn't do toes to bar at that time. So in 2023 we did the scaled down version, so not the RX prescribed version. We did the next version down, which was hanging knee raises. And so you just had to get your knees up to like hip level. So we did 50 of those, 40 wall ball shots, which the prescribed version was 20-pound ball to a 10-foot target. We had the 20-pound ball and we did not have the scaled down version of that, which was a 14-pound ball to a 10-foot target. So we just did the 20-pound ball and then 30 cleans, so that bar that you could see in the background there with the green weights on it, pulling that from the floor up into a front rack position up at your shoulders, and then back down to the floor, 30 of those. And that was supposed to be 135 pounds, and we ended up doing the scaled version was 95 pounds. And then the last part of that workout was supposed to be 20 ring muscle ups. We didn't have rings. I couldn't have done a ring muscle up at that point anyway, as you can kind of tell from my knee raises there. And so it wouldn't have mattered at that point. Oh, sorry. The scaled down version of that was 20 pull-ups. I couldn't do a pull-up then either. I think at this point I was weighing about 250 pounds, so that would have been a pretty tall order to try and get my chin up above that bar on the pull-up part of it. That is 23.1, and then on the right-hand side, did I say right-hand side when I pointed this way last time? On the right-hand side is 23.2 A and B. So what you're watching is the A part of it right now, and it is an AMRAP. It's 15 minutes of 5 burpee, supposed to be pull-ups, so you're supposed to go down and do your burpee and then jump up and do a pull-up. For the scaled down version, it was just burpee and jump up and touch the bar, and then 10 50-foot shuttle runs. And so they had that stipulated as 25-foot segments, and you had to touch the ground at the line as you turned, and then you just went through that as many times as you could. And then at the end of that workout is so you get done with your 15 minutes, and then you've got 5 minutes on the end of that, immediately rolling right into it, to do a 1 rep max squat thruster. So you can see in that video we've got the plates set out and the bar set up, ready to go into that. And so that's the workouts I'm doing there. I'm not going to talk about them too much. I wanted you guys to be able to see kind of where I came from. There is some video of 2022, that first open that we did, but my brother videoed that on his iPad, and it might be on his YouTube channel somewhere, but I searched for it, I couldn't find it. So anyways, I don't have that. This is what I have. But that's the workouts that you're looking at. Yeah, so hopefully as you look at those, you kind of, as you see some of the other videos, you can kind of see, okay, yeah, Anthony he's been doing some stuff differently. He's been working at it. I want to take the rest of the time and just do a little bit of introduction and background on kind of where I came from and why I'm doing what I'm doing as far as this stuff goes. As far as introduction goes, grew up in Iowa in a small town. Did sports growing up, tried a variety of different things. My mom, probably more so than my dad, was really good about getting us exposure to different stuff. And so, we did baseball. I remember one time at the Y, did a little bit of gymnastics. That was very short-lived. But then the main things growing up would have been wrestling, and then football once we got into junior high and high school. Did a little bit of track. I did track in junior high, and then 1 year in high school, and I ran 800 meters in track that year. So as far as football goes, I small school, played both ways. I played running back and I played outside linebacker. And then in wrestling, through the years, I started at high school. I started about 135 pounds, I think, and then by the time I was a senior, I was wrestling at 145 pounds. And those weights are a little bit skewed. So like in football that senior year, I was weighing about 160 pounds. And then, when you're not trying to keep mass on your body, when you're trying to get lean down as much as you can, you drop that excess weight for wrestling. So yeah, that's kind of the sizes that I was in high school. And then had a few years off doing some other stuff, working, served a mission for my church for a couple of years. And then when I got back from that, and I transferred from a community college up to Iowa State University, and walked onto the wrestling team there. And so my first year, I wrestled 157. And then my second year, there was kind of a little bit of an opening at 174 where we didn't have like a national champion caliber wrestler at that weight class, where someone like me that, was just kind of a utility guy might be able to have a shot at it. So I bumped up to 174, and there was a couple other guys that were kind of in that same situation. We were all kind of close, but I was probably the worst one of the ones that were kind of close. I think so in the wrestle-offs that year, I lost to one of the guys by a point, and so he earned the spot to wrestle in like that final wrestle-off spot, and then he ended up losing to that guy by like a point. And so anyways, that's my those were the glory days of wrestling in college. So but so I did those 2 years, and then I made it in on my first application to vet school at Iowa State, and so I gave up the wrestling thing and buckled down on the vet school, and this is where I'm at. I got a little practice in Centerville, Iowa, where I grew up, and it's fantastic. Got 5 kids, and Chelsea teaches school, and yeah, it's pretty good most days, and we got all the problems that everybody who's married and has kids has, but yeah, we just work through them, and we're committed, and it's it's pretty good most of the time. I think the kids and Chelsea would agree with that. I wanted to tell you guys where I was at when I did that first open in 2022. So I went back on my phone, and I track weights on there clear back till that time. So at that time when I did that first open, I was weighing about 275 pounds, which, if you think back to those almost a full adult high school days where I was weighing 160 in football, I was carrying around an extra 100 pounds or more of weight that I really didn't need. Or if you look at where I was kind of probably too big when I was bumped up to that 174 pound weight class my second year in college, I'm 100 pounds more than that for no reason. And I didn't like the way I looked at that point. That was really secondary though. Like, more than anything, it just really got to me that, like, I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. I'll tell you, there was a particular experience during that time, and I can't remember exactly what year it was, but we had taken a family vacation with my brothers and kind of that extended family and all the kids, cousins, and everything. And we were down in Eminence, Missouri, on the Jacks Fork River, and there's a spot where you can stop and kind of hike up to a cave. And I did the hike up there, and then it was kind of slanted, and that was a real struggle. And then there was a little part that was kind of straight up and down. It was I don't know, maybe 8 feet or so. And my brother climbed up that. There was a little rope that somebody had hung, and I mean, like, a little rope. And I kind of contemplated climbing up that, and then I'm like, no, I'm gonna snap this rope, and I am going to be rolling down this rocky, steep slope here. And man, that really got to me, that I couldn't climb up to that next spot and then walk kind of back out to the edge of the cliff and kind of overlook everything and do that with the kids. And yeah, I don't know, that might have been the kind of that breaking point for me. When I think about, like, why am I doing this, and I get people say, oh, you look really good, or what are you doing, you look good, and I hear, like, you look. It's nice to kind of hear that stuff, and it's nice to see people notice, and I know that that is a motivation. But more than anything, it's just, what can I do with this functional fitness? And I'll give you a good example, a recent example. So over the summer, we've got that deck area. I recorded a video out there, and so it was just a deck kind of up on the second story, and it didn't have a roof over it. And I had been thinking, now I'd really like a roof over this for a couple of years there. And finally I was just like, well, why don't I build this roof over top of this thing? And I had kind of gotten into good enough shape at that point where I'm like, yeah, I could probably handle that. And there's some 6x6 20-foot long beams that are part of that. I don't know how much they weigh, but they were pretty heavy, and I was out there moving those around. I had some help with some of it, but a lot of the heavy stuff I was able to do myself. A lot of the stuff where you're up high and you're balancing on the lumber and whatnot that's up there, I was able to do it and feel pretty confident and have balance. You think about your center of gravity and how tipsy you are as you get heavier. It just it was really nice to be able to do that, and I've done a lot of things like that with the kids, and it's been good. So that's the main thing I wrote down here on my little paper. I wrote why am I doing this. I wanted everybody to kind of understand, man, if you think that looking better is going to be a motivation for you, just wait until you're doing something that you haven't been able to do in years. and you'll get excited. I wanted to talk a little bit about diet. So I've done it a lot of different ways over the years, and weights going up and down. But this time around, my thought was, let's just get in a little better shape. And so the first thing I did was I said, okay, I'm not going to worry about the diet part of this right now. I'm just gonna start doing some of this lifting, start doing some of this moving, and hopefully feel better and do better as I go with that. And I thought, and I was right, I thought at some point my weight and my diet would be holding me back enough that I would get motivated just from the competitive nature of it to start eating a little bit better. And it took a little while. So the first year I dropped like 30 pounds just from being more active and maybe just eating a little bit better, just being a little conscious of it. But yeah, so from 22 to 23, I think I was down to like 250 at this point in these videos. And then from 23 to 24, I just stayed at 250. I really didn't change much with my diet. And then this past summer, and this was a little bit of a motivation of how do I look. Chelsea and I, we were planning on getting out of town, because we like to get out of town every once in a while just to kind of get a break from the clinic and get some time alone from the kids and whatnot. So we plan a couple of like weekend type things a year to do that. And anyways, we decided we were going to go down to the Masters CrossFit Games in Birmingham, which was the end of August. And so yeah, the spring summer of 2024, I was like, I am not going to go hang out with all these really, really fit people for 2 or 3 days and be as out of shape looking as I am. So anyways, I cracked down on my diet at that point. Not dieting. I just kind of, I put a couple of rules in place. I was going to track my food, and I was going to eat whole foods. Like I wasn't going to eat like the highly processed stuff like you think, like potato chips and sweets and that kind of stuff. Did that through the summer. It went really well. I got down to, I should have wrote that number down around 200 pounds or so. And so then we got done with that trip, and I got back and I decided, hey, I want to kind of buckle down and see if I can kind of get my lifting a little bit better, because I'm kind of weak in some of these power lifts. So I stopped trying to lose the weight, and I said I was going to set new rules or set new goals with the diet. And so I was going to continue to track food, but I wanted to be calorie neutral essentially. And the whole time I was kind of prioritizing protein. That's kind of one of the terms that you'll hear people say. So anyways, yeah, I just was trying to get enough protein in, and I feel like that's been good. There has not been a chunk of time this long, so from August of 2024 till this is February of 2025, where I've been able to just maintain weight. I'm not trying really, really hard to do anything real drastic, and that's been nice to just know that it's something that I can do without crazy effort and feeling terrible and feeling guilty or whatever. So yeah, that's been interesting. So yeah, get plenty of protein in. I try to get 1 gram per pound of body weight. And then I do try to eat plenty of fiber, so fruits and vegetables. And then other than that, I'm just, I just stay away from the junk food. I eat dried fruits, so like I'll have raisins or I'll have some of that stuff as like my snack or whatever. Nuts, you can get a lot of calories in with nuts, so you gotta be careful, but I'll mix like some nuts and raisins in with some Greek yogurt or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of the diet, if you can call it a diet. I mean, you do call it a diet. A diet is literally the stuff that you eat. So, but yeah, that's kind of my rules for that. But I do track it. I've got a gram scale and I weigh it. if it's not something in a known quantity. So yeah, if you're looking for any advice, those are kind of my rules that I go with on the diet thing. And I'm sure it's all wrong, but it's worked for me. So the other thing I wrote down here is supplements. Yeah, so I do protein powder. I do that. I guess it's probably more of a treat than anything. I just drink a protein shake after I work out in the morning, and I'll put some creatine in that. Creatine monohydrate. I don't get too worked up about brand or anything like that. And then I do supplement, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I felt like I was getting a lot of cramps when I was doing a lot of running back in the day, and and I was getting some cramps with this, like in my calves, and so anyways, I supplement with salt and potassium, and that has really, really helped. I haven't had any issues since I started doing that. I do magnesium in the evenings. I take a multivitamin. I take a probiotic, omega-3 fatty acids. This sounds like a lot. It probably is a lot. It's probably too much, but yeah, nothing crazy. My brother and I, we've talked a lot about like testosterone, because we're getting older, and I tell him the same thing that I tell myself when I think about any of these ailments. And I feel like there's a lot of people in health now that are like, oh yeah, you need to be doing TRT, you should have your testosterone levels checked. Well, my problem with that is there's a lot of things in health that you can just correct by doing a better job of living your life. So getting good exercise, sleeping good, nutrition, lowering the stress in your life. And so we know that with testosterone, your numbers are going to go up. The sleep is the big thing, right? And so if you, thumbs up on getting good sleep. So if you're not doing those things, I just don't get going to a doctor and getting some sort of external thing to correct something, when I think it's more of a symptom of lifestyle than an actual disease in and of itself, or a condition in and of itself. So again, I'm not trying to give anybody health advice. It's just my thoughts on it, that man, before I go down that road, I'm going to try every single thing that I can. And so I do, on the sleep side of things especially. And whether it's right or wrong, people have got their opinions on this. I take melatonin at night. I take, like I said, I do that, magnesium, L-theanine. When I got my allergy med that I take at night, which has less to do with sleeping and just more, I don't want it to make me drowsy during the day. So anyways, but yeah. So that's kind of the supplements and my thoughts on anything more than just kind of your over-the-counter supplement type stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I hope this has been kind of a good introduction to the channel and the videos and my reasoning on why I'm doing it. I really hope people can watch this and get something out of it. If if you're in my situation, or if you're a young person that doesn't want to get in this situation, it's a good cautionary tale. Don't go through the dad bod thing and have to claw your way back to fitness. But the last thing I want to say is, if you do any of these workouts, I'd really like to know how you did on them. And so if you hop on here and you see one of these workouts that I post and you do it, tell me what your score was, or link me to your video or something, because I'd be really interested to see how people are doing with these, and just see what you guys' fitness journeys look like as well. So thanks everybody. Hope you enjoy it, like it. Give me some comments on it. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and get notified when I pop up new videos. So thanks guys. Bye.